Welcome to Savvy Business, Life Unscripted, with your host, Christina Rivera, where our guests share their wisdom and valuable business tips, empowering our audience to expand their personal potential.
Hi, Arran, Stewart. Welcome to Savvy Broadcasting Life Unscripted. I'm so grateful to have you here today. You're going to talk about one thing that's been on the mind of a lot of business owners, and that is what's going on with all these resignations. How do we hold on to great talent? And is the 4-day Workweek and a solution for companies to think about for this great resignation going on? But before we go there, you are the co-founder and CBO of blockchain-powered recruitment platform Jobcom. You are exploding where a lot of businesses are having trouble. You are just totally exploding. Share a little bit about Job.com and your role at Job.com.
Yeah, so Job.com, to kind of give you the mouthful, we describe ourselves, we're a data-driven digital staffing platform. Mm-hmm. So like in the US, we have recruitment and staffing companies. We do this utilizing process automation, our platform and technology. We place job seekers into work. We like to describe ourselves as a website where you don't search for a job, you actually get a job, which is a refreshing difference, I can assure you. Yes, thank you for that, Christina. We have been growing at an exceptional rate, and we've done a number of other acquisitions of other businesses since we've sort of been here, and whilst we're here in the US, we've got plenty more coming this year. And our job, I always like to tell everyone, just so they're clear, the mission of our business is to help as many people feed their families and pay their bills as possible. That's what we do at our company.
Well, I love that, and I'm sure a lot of people, both on the receiving end of looking for work and also as businesses looking for great talent. What's been your take on the great resignation that's come about in recent?
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's a direct reflection of obviously what we went through with the pandemic. I think if anybody's done any research or reading, there's a myriad of reasons that contribute to why we're seeing this great resignation. Mm-hmm. I actually sort of dubbed the term slightly different. I called it the great reflection. I believe that people have had time during the pandemic to reflect on their current situation, financially, career options, maybe loyalty or, exposure that they saw, vulnerability that they saw within their personal sectors or job titles, and now have chosen this as an opportunity to pursue pastures new or to try and securitize themselves in other industries that might be more suitable. There's another thesis as well that goes with just burnout. I think people were, worked under a considerable amount of pressure during that period of, the pandemic, and there was a lot of uncertainty. Work from home offers a huge amount of flexibility, but it also, if you're a driven human for work, provides you with no true boundaries or barriers as to how much you do work. And I think during the pandemic, people just consistently burnt the midnight oil because they were thrown into a work practice they weren't really trained for or familiar with. And I just think we all got to a point where we saw the markets changing. We saw kind of us coming out the other side of the pandemic and maybe thought, it's time for something new.
Yeah, I got you there. And you made so many great points. I talked to a number of friends and family who have jobs, and they did just that. And part of the reason was, well, we're stuck at home. What else am I going to do? I might as well keep working. And then it turned into 16, 18 hours of sitting on your buns, not moving, eating badly, and very unhealthy lifestyle. But something else came out of it. You mentioned reflection, and I heard from folks that they then realized, well, hell, traveling 2 hours and, every day to a job to sit down at a desk, which apparently I could have done this at home, offered yet another idea that maybe I could find not only structure and boundaries, but also find a way to do it from home and save that 2 hours plus or whatever every day and travel.
Yeah, I mean, work-life balance, I think, has become more relevant than ever. And if there's anything positive at all that could come from the pandemic and obviously this resignation reflection moment, is I think we've all become a lot more aware of how important that just is, and flexibility, and making sure that work fits in with our lives rather than us having this kind of yesteryear historic view of fitting in with work. Because personally, and I do like to talk about, we have almost 1,000 people at the business here at Job.com between W2 and contractors. And I think, my opinion is, if you get your job done, then, realistically, the old structures of the past are kind of almost redundant. Work your way, and I think that's important for attraction and retention now.
Yeah. And really, it brings us to a more result-based working relationship between employers and employees, which I think is great. I mean, because then, the people who will be dwindled out who actually weren't good performers and don't put effort. And then the people who are great performers, they're going to rise straight to the top. And you mentioned the reflection part is also being a good way for people to say, hey, is this where I want to be the next 20 years? Or is there another place where my skills and talents could better be served?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that, during that time period of reflection, I think people were able to look upon reskilling, training, education. This was an opportunity, if ever, to look upon, okay, how do I invest in myself? And if I am going to, because I've actually had a moment now to take a breath, because we always get caught in the rat race every day.
Yeah.
And we blink and a year went by and another 5 years went by, as I'm sure you can probably relate to, because I certainly can. And it's like, do you know what? Actually, this has given me an opportunity to look upon maybe another way of educating myself and maybe looking at my training, etc. So, and I think that's been another reason that might have also contributed to the Great Resignation.
Yeah, I could totally see your point. Now, tell me about the 4-day work week. Do you think it's really a possible solution that companies could use, or it's just, we don't get enough done already? Losing one more day would just not be a good idea.
Well, look, I've written quite a few articles about this. And I think, again, you mentioned the sort of $1 million point, results-based performance and work-related, activities. If you deliver the results that make you economically viable to a company, then why couldn't you do a 4-day working week? When they did the Icelandic study, which consisted of 2% of the labor force working a 4-day week and going from 40 hours to 36 hours. So people were doing a little bit more time every day from Monday to Thursday. They saw productivity either sustain or actually grow because people were able to take an extra day worth of leisure, relaxing. They might invest in themselves, look at doing a little bit more education. I think it's one of those perks and benefits that could be offered to those members of staff that either are exceptional performers or to use to attract those exceptional staff because they've got a track record of delivery and you can trust that they'll deliver a productivity within 4 days rather than having to do 5.
Yeah, I love that you say that. I remember many years ago working at a media company, my boss had said, hey, when you move on, and he knew I was moving on to a new company, we were about to sit down in negotiations for salary and bennies and all that good stuff. And he said, hey, if they can't offer you the money you want, remember, you've got other options like benefits and or time off or hours if you want to work less time or whatever it is. Think about that as a possible negotiating thing at the table. So that is something you can think about if you're going to bring the results, but you have to be able to stress, here's what I'm going to bring to the table for you, because it's not all about you. It's what are you going to provide the company in value.
Yeah, and that's it. Value is the word, right? Like if you deliver, like I just repeat, economic value to a company that rationalizes that you are able to have that perk or benefit, then that's totally, that's totally possible. So, and I personally am a huge proponent and fan of the 4-day working week if someone consistently delivers. If they show consistency with results, then why not take a day back for yourself? Because again, you should work to live, not live to work, in my opinion.
Yeah, I especially in the American culture, it's become so prevalent that work. And it's interesting because you get to a point, there's a sweet spot. You get to a point where actually you might be moving and taking some sort of movement busyness, but are you being productive? Productive and busyness are two different things.
They are. Well, you can be a busy fool, right? And also like you can, people have capacity, right? So like, personally talking about myself, I work a lot, obviously, especially being a founder, but I find that in concentrated bursts of certain work activities, I work best. If you ask me to go and do 12 to 14 hours consistently of something, I'm really not going to be that productive by hour like 11, 12, 13 and 14. Okay. Like I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to be there, so you've got to look at how you maximize or should I say, optimize the work habits of your labor force and team. And it is a subjective case-by-case basis for humans, but some people can just get it done in 4 days, and with that additional, leisure or rest or freedom, provides them that motivation that when they start again Monday morning or they start again Tuesday morning, they hit the ground running so much harder.
Yeah. And here you mentioned something else important is realizing what is your productivity birth. Like, how do you work best? I found for myself a number of years ago, I was doing sales and I was like, I'm not leaving my desk until I do one more sale. And I was sitting there cracking my head over the desk, sometimes 10 hours, not getting another sale. And then, someone said, why don't you just go take a walk? And when I started getting out and moving a bit, you come back and you're just so much more, have so much more clarity. And so sometimes taking that break, whether it be going to exercise or taking that walk or even getting lunch, just gives you a fresh perspective to be able to tackle whatever stuff you have going on at work.
Yeah. And realistically, this is a reflection point for managers, owners, business leaders, being a taskmaster, effectively a slave driver, in terminologies. It's you're not going to get the best out of your team members, your humans, by driving them like that. It really is about finding like those optimized bursts of where I get the best of you. And when I get the best of you, it's not just productive, it's effective. Yeah. It is execution, and that delivers value. And as long as you can measure that, which is essential, then you can make calculated decisions on the work strategies of flexible work hours, hybrid work conditions, and potentially a 4-day working week.
Yeah. Now, I'd love to hear more that you can share with our audience about how they can get in touch if they're a business owner and would like to find that wonderful talent and work with Jobcom. How can they do that?
Yeah, no worries. And I bless you that you didn't add the plural. So
I know. I caught myself.
Everybody wants to add the plural onto our name because they want to. So you've done an amazing job there. So listen, if you want to get in touch, you can visit job.com and contact us. You can contact me and reach out to me on LinkedIn. So Arran Stewart. I have a very unique way of spelling Arran because of all my family's heritage is Scottish. So it's Arran and then Stewart, Stewart. Or you can just email me at arran@job.com.
And what is the process like if you're a business owner and getting started with Job.com? Is it hard to get started with getting that talent out there? Is there a process? How does that work?
So listen, we combine technology with humans. Okay. So the hiring process, in our opinion, is very much a human process, but it can be augmented with technology, hence with our software and platform. So when you reach out to us, you'll be assigned to a human, and that human is going to look after you and be your account manager and your recruiter. But they're going to use all the great technology that we've built to maximize the productivity and effectiveness of finding great candidates for you, and they're going to find them fast. Awesome.
And the same goes for any applicants. They can also go to job.com and get hooked up today with.
Please come to us. And applicants, I love to hear from everyone. I mean, we're quite fortunate. We have a lot of people that run through our system of service, but if you ever want to reach out to me, you're welcome to reach out to me too, because, our job is to help you. That's what we do as a platform. So I'm delighted to hear from anybody.
Well, this has been an awesome chat. I'm so excited for all the people you're going to help, both businesses and employees. Thank you for sharing your expertise and wisdom today on Savvy Broadcasting.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
Like, subscribe, and share this episode. To listen to more savvy episodes and savvy biz tips, go to www.lifeunscriptedradio.com. To find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest, email Christina at lifeunscriptedradio.com.